Just because something's likely to happen doesn't mean that it's okay. There's a reason that I continually remind everyone that keto means eating fewer carbs, that there's no magic involved, and that overeating carbs is bad, even if you don't see fat gain immediately. Because there's actually a difference between something being okay, eat all the carbs you want, and the possibility that something could happen. It's possible that you have a day where you eat more than 20 grams of carbs. Hello, Wellness Warriors. Welcome to Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet. I'm Violet. The reason I make these educational videos is to help you to understand that when your mental health and physical health are working well together, that's when we have that overall sense of well being. If you're working on this kind of thing, subscribe because I make new videos every week. For some reason, when we are talking about eating healthy, there's this underlying idea that, of course, you're not going to be able to eat this way forever. The idea that everyone cheats on their diet. This is coming from that idea that cheating on your diet is normal. Well, if we make it normal, we will see it as okay because we've just made it okay by saying it was normal. And that's not reality. Cheating on anyone, including yourself, is not okay. Now, there's going to be people that are going to say, well, I want to know that it's possible so I can make a plan for it. One thing I want you to think about is that just because it's possible that I make a mistake doesn't mean I need to plan for the mistake as much as it is be confident in myself that if I make a mistake, I can correct it. The goal of this channel is not to tell you about all the problems that you're going to encounter and workarounds for those problems, because that sets you up to make mistakes. The goal is to talk about what you're trying to accomplish so that you're focused on what you're actually trying to accomplish, which is better health. And if I'm trying to accomplish better health, I'm not planning to mess that up. I'm planning to do all the things towards better health every time I do anything towards my health. If the goal is towards doing what's better for me, then worrying about a possible mistake I could make isn't necessary because my goal is to do what's better for me. If I make a mistake, I correct it. What's very, very distressing for me is that when we make a mistake, because we've been telling ourselves the whole time that cheating's inevitable, of course you're going to go over your carbs. There's no way to live your life this way without going over your carbs. Because you've been talking to yourself that way, when you make the mistake, you're less likely to be fast to correct it because this was bound to happen. And some people don't even try to correct it until they're on the path where they're no longer eating appropriately. And this leads to repeated poor eating behavior. I know that what I just said sounded very contradictory. The idea that being prepared for a mistake could lead you then to making the mistake and not correcting it. But one of the things that I want us to think about when we're talking about our health and the goals that we put in front of ourselves is that the goal matters. So, the analogy. If I'm learning to skate, we assume when we're learning to skate that there's a possibility that we fall down. At the same time, because we do not accept falling down as part of skating well, we don't accept it as something that's going to happen every single time we go skating, even if it does happen. So what that leads to then is that people who are trying to learn to skate focus on correcting the things that could lead to them falling down, which means that they, over time, skate better and better and fall less and less until hopefully their goal is to eliminate it. At the same time, we're fully aware at any particular point in time we could fall. And when it happens, we typically analyze it and correct. And we do that so that we don't continue to make whatever mistake it was we just made that caused us to fall. This is particularly apparent when you watch things like hockey, where you'll watch hockey players skating around, knocking and bumping into each other, jumping over themselves, over their sticks, and landing and not falling, because their goal is to stay on their feet so that they can score a goal. So falling down would not be productive. At the same time, when they do fall, they're very fast back up onto their feet because falling isn't the point. They correct. This makes them very good on their skates, efficient skaters, great hockey players. When our focus is on solving, we find a way to solve. And what that means is, for us in the world of health and trying to eat appropriately, if my goal is to eat healthy, the first thing I want you thinking about is what I'm eating right now healthy? So, would I even put it in my mouth if it's not healthy? Would I take that step? And I feel like this is where we're not allowing ourselves to see that if I'm still looking at cookies, if I'm still looking at chips and cake and donuts and soda and all, if I'm still looking at unhealthy foods, if I'm working really hard to incorporate junk food back into my healthy keto life, is my goal health? And if my goal isn't health, what's the likelihood that I'm going to stay healthy? Am I now, because my goal isn't health, opening the door that I might actually cheat? These are the things that we're not allowing ourselves to think about when we say, oh, but it's normal. At some point, you're going to eat off plan. By saying that to myself, what I'm really saying is I don't need to work on focusing my attention on the foods that are healthy, because at some point it's okay to eat unhealthy foods. The problem with saying that is that when we eat unhealthy foods, they tend to pull us back into negative behavior that tends to get us caught in that loop where once again we're eating foods that are harming our health. Allowing ourselves to say, of course you're going to cheat, leaves us the built-in excuse, so that when we find ourselves cycling in and out of unwanted eating behavior, we can look back and say, well, of course, because everybody cheats. Wellness warriors, do not cheat on yourself. First of all, you know what you're eating. You know that you're not eating on plan if you're not eating on plan. So, in fact, cheating on yourself just puts you in the position where you feel guilty, where you feel incompetent and incapable of taking care of yourself, where you feel ashamed. And guess what? Those are the kind of things that push us towards emotional eating. Those are the kind of things that make us give up on our healthy ideas about what we should be eating. I want every wellness warrior to understand that all the people out there who give excuses, so they say, of course, a cheat meal is okay once in a while, are not actually putting your health and your wellness first. Probably because they're not putting their own health and wellness first, but that's a whole other conversation. I want you to put your health and wellness first by understanding that the same way that you wouldn't accept anyone cheating on you for any kind of anything, then I shouldn't even be trying to cheat on myself. Because the food that I eat builds the body that I'm going to have from today for the next 7 to 10 years. That matters. There's some videos on the screen right here that are going to help you to improve your mental and physical health. Wellness warriors, I want you to tell me how you're going to do better in the coming months. What's the thing that you're going to say to yourself to help you to stay on track? I love making these videos for you guys. I'm always happy that you come back. I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.